Denver spent $274 million trying to solve homelessness, and the people actually keeping the unhoused alive are ordinary citizens, working a second unpaid shift every single Monday, out of their own pockets, carrying grief this city never acknowledged and never once budgeted for, showing up in the cold until they break. Welcome to Homeless in America. Denver is the mile-high city, a gleaming gateway to the Rockies, ranked among America's fastest-growing metros for a decade straight. Craft breweries, Mountain View condos, a booming downtown skyline that promises possibility to everyone who arrives with enough runway to land. But Denver is also a city that has quietly built something else, a vast and largely invisible second economy, running entirely on the goodwill and labor of ordinary people who said yes once and could not find a way to stop. And the people running that second economy are exhausted. Today, we are going inside the phenomenon that City Hall cannot explain and cannot replace, the mutual aid networks that absorbed what the system could not hold, at a human cost nobody budgeted for and nobody measures. Subscribe now if these stories move you, because this one demands to be heard. Part 1. The Broken Funnel, Denver's Uncounted Crisis. Denver has a number on its forehead that nobody wants to confront at City Council. In the 2025 point-in-time count, a single-night snapshot conducted each January, under conditions that are never perfectly controlled, 7,327 people were counted as homeless across the city, up 788 from the year before. Across the broader 7-county metro region, 10,774 people were living without stable shelter on that one counted night. And the methodology matters here, because the pit count is a blunt instrument. Cold nights push people from encampments into emergency shelters, skewing the unsheltered numbers downward. Rain, snow, and extreme temperatures move people indoors in ways the count then misses entirely. The actual number of individuals who experience homelessness across a full year in Denver is substantially higher. The system itself acknowledges this when pressed. But even that official tally, 7,000 plus on a single January night, is only the ledger we can see. It does not count the person sleeping in a car in Lakewood. It does not count the family doubled up in a cousin's apartment 3 zip codes from downtown. It does not count the teenager who left when home became too dangerous to stay. What we know is this: each month, approximately 5,000 people enter Denver's homeless crisis system, and only 750 secure permanent housing on the other end. The rest stay in the funnel. Month after month, the funnel fills faster than it empties. Colorado has a 134,000 unit shortfall in affordable rentals, the 6th least affordable state in the country. To rent a modest 2-bedroom in the Denver metro on minimum wage, a worker would need 104 hours of work every week. That is 2.6 full-time jobs. There is no floor. When a person loses their home in Denver, they are not falling into a safety net. They are falling into a system that, on its best day, moves fewer than 1 in 6 people toward a stable exit. On its worst day, it sweeps encampments and confiscates what little remains. The gap between 5,000 entering and 750 exiting gets filled, without a city contract, without compensation, without recognition, by the people with folding tables and soup. Part 2. Trapped in the Loop, Denver's endless cycle of displacement. To understand what is consuming the volunteers of Denver, we have to look past the budget line and into the operational mechanics of the crisis itself. 4 years, $274 million in city contracts dedicated to homelessness and housing. And yet the Denver metro region added more homeless individuals than any other major metro in the country since 2018. The money was real. The contracts were real. The press conferences were real. What did not materialize at the scale and urgency the crisis demanded was the housing. Denver has conducted encampment sweeps on a recurring basis, City crews arriving with official notices and removal equipment to clear sites that unhoused residents have carefully built into something approaching stability. The sweep comes, the tents come down, the sleeping bags are confiscated, the medications go, the photographs, the legal documents, the small handmade dignities that a person accumulates over months of living on a sidewalk, gone in a single morning. And the following Monday, the same people appear at Mutual Aid Monday, in need of the exact same things they had the week before the sweep. The volunteers resupply them. 2 weeks later, another sweep. The volunteers go back to their phone contacts and their car trunks, and they resupply again. They are not angry, most of them, at least not at the people they are serving. They are depleted. They are not choosing to be ineffective. They are trapped inside a structural loop that reproduces the problem they are trying to solve faster than their labor can resolve it. Nearly 40% of active clients at Denver's Salvation Army Crossroads Center Emergency Shelter have been relying on emergency beds for longer than 12 months. The shelter is no longer functioning as emergency infrastructure. It has become, in practice, permanent housing without a lease, without legal protections, without privacy, without any of the things that distinguish a home from a holding pattern. The system is cycling people rather than resolving their homelessness. 5,000 enter the funnel each month. 750 find a way through. The rest cycle back, resupplied by volunteers, reswept by city crews, returned to the same street corner they occupied before. They are not broken by choice. They are held by a structure that was never built to let them leave. Part 3. The weight of compassion. Faces on the front line of mutual aid. No one is born with a dream of sleeping on the street. Consider the woman I will call Elena, not her real name, but her story, assembled from the accounts of volunteers and unhoused individuals that repeat themselves in mutual aid circles across this city. Elena started coming to Mutual Aid Monday in the winter of 2021, the way most volunteers do. Once, because a friend asked her, with a pot of soup she had made the night before. She was not a social worker. She was not a professional activist. She was a nurse, on her day off, with a free Monday afternoon and a belief that people ought to eat. 2 years later, the Monday crowd had grown from 50 people to 400. She started buying supplies with her own paycheck, cases of hand warmers, sleeping bags purchased in bulk when the temperature dropped, extra naloxone because she had watched it bring someone back and she knew it needed to be in every bag every time. Then the sweeps started cycling more frequently. She would hand a man a sleeping bag on Monday and find it in a city dumpster by Thursday. She would buy another, hand it over the following week. The grief accumulated in ways she had no previous framework for. She stopped sleeping through the night. She started answering group chat messages at 2 a.m. from people asking whether the Monday table was still happening. It was always still happening. In the mornings, she texts the group by 7 to coordinate supply runs. Someone bought 40 sleeping bags last week. The encampment was swept on Friday. They need 40 more. She goes, because the man she is going for knows her name, and she knows his. Because he sleeps with one hand on the bag she gave him, every nerve alert for the sound of a city vehicle at the curb. Because the city, to him, has been an unbroken series of uniforms and clipboards and notices taped to chain link fence. He cannot tell you what the city plans for him. He cannot tell you whether any such plan exists at all. But he can tell you exactly what Elena brings, and what time she arrives, and how she takes her coffee, and whether she will be back next week. She will. Part 4. The closed loop and the open table. The structural barriers facing Denver's unhoused population are not mysterious. They are exhaustively documented, repeatedly studied, and systematically reproduced by the very institutions that were designed to dismantle them. Barrier 1. Sweeps. Erase the preconditions for stability before stability can take hold. To apply for housing assistance, you need a verifiable address. To establish an address, you need housing. To obtain a government-issued ID, you need a mailing location. To access employment and most benefits, you need that ID. This is not bureaucratic complexity. This is a closed architectural loop, one that resets completely every time a sweep removes a person's documents, medications, and any means of re-engaging the system from scratch. Barrier 2. Emergency shelter has become de facto permanent housing without a lease, without legal protections, without privacy, without any of the conditions that distinguish a home from a waiting room. When 4 in 10 people in an emergency shelter have been there for more than a year, the shelter is no longer emergency infrastructure. It is a holding pattern with no exit visible from inside. The human being inside it has not failed. The system has consistently failed to build a door. And yet, there is a table. Every Monday, 4 to 7 in the evening, on the plaza of the Denver City and County Building at 1437 Bannock Street, Mutual Aid Monday sets up without fail. Founded in November 2020 by Kelsang Virya, this collective has not missed a single Monday in over 4 years through blizzards, heat advisories, budget debates, and political cycles. 300 to 400 people come each week. No paperwork, no check-in required, no means test. Meals, sleeping bags, tents, propane, naloxone, hygiene supplies, haircuts. You show up, you are seen. From that table, some people find their path toward the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless at 2111 Champa Street, a backbone institution serving more than 20,000 individuals and families each year through integrated healthcare, housing navigation, employment support, and substance use treatment. Their Stout Street Health Center brings medicine to people who cannot reach a clinic. Together, these two organizations hold the line, the immediate warmth of a name remembered and the longer architecture of a life rebuilt. The meal is the first touch point of dignity. The housing referral, when it comes, is the bridge the table made possible. Part 5. The True Measure. Keys to a Stable Home. Denver has produced proof that structural investment works. The Colorado Coalition for the Homeless has moved thousands into permanent housing, providing shelter without precondition and building services around people once they are stable. Housed people do better by every measure. The evidence is not contested. There are people in Denver tonight who were sleeping outside 2 years ago and now have keys, who wake up in the same bed 2 mornings in a row, who do not have to calculate before sleep whether their bag will survive until morning. That did not happen by accident. It happened because someone decided this person was worth consistent investment. The question Denver must answer is whether it can choose that outcome at scale without waiting for volunteers to carry it first. A city is not measured by its tallest buildings. It is measured by what it does for the people who fall through. Subscribe to Homeless in America. Leave a comment. What do you believe a city owes the people it cannot house? Share this episode. In this moment, we offer a quiet prayer for every person experiencing homelessness in Denver, and for every volunteer who has given more than they had. May you find safety in the days ahead. May gentle hands reach you with kindness. May the weight you carry begin to lighten, and may a warm, stable home soon welcome you back. Thank you for staying until the very end.